Welcome on into 19 on the Clock, your Tri-State High School and College Sports podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pushkar. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Jackson McCarty. And Jackson, we are continuing our nomadic trend.
Boom.
Moving.
You knew what the opener was.
Right across from the stage that we've been at, taking over the green.
Yes.
Enjoying a little bit of mini golf today.
It's like we're at the Masters.
I mean, I'll accept it.
Yeah, so for those of you who will be watching Bengals Now, which comes out after our podcast does.
Correct.
Where we'll be able to watch it. I believe it's 11:30 again, like normal, this Thursday, or Thursday night, and then Friday at 2 p.m. Either way, you will be able to see Jeremy Rout, Joe Danneman, Logan Wilson, Evan McPherson, and a member of the audience playing golf on the sets behind us. You probably can't see it from the camera angle. But yeah, we've, instead of being out on the stage where they normally do the show, we've come out here because we hate to be in one spot for too long. But hey, I like this concept. I think this is going to do us good.
I actually like this as well. So we got a lot to talk about.
We
because not only do we have football, high school, college to talk about, we also have a little bit of college volleyball that we'll be talking about, and also a snippet of college basketball, because I'm not going to be able to be here to talk with you about it before the season kicks off next week.
Yes.
So there's a little something we're gonna chat about and then go from there.
And honestly, next week we might not have any college talk at all.
Yeah, it'll be a fun high school experiment.
Because
sure.
I think I'm just going to make Austin Brisky just share all of his insane thoughts about high school football in the Tri-State. Because I am privy to this wealth of just lunacy every Friday night.
I imagine there's just going to be like a little box that we have to check off. Like it's not like anything is bad's going to be said, but it's just going to need to be like explicit.
There's a pretty strong chance that episode never makes air.
And honestly, I can see it.
Because he's going to go off the rails at some point. And honestly, this is the best tease I could possibly do for the episode.
It's less that it won't go on air, it's that it will get chopped to such extent.
People are that, yeah. Well, and also, like, people are going to think, like, it's, like, two random, like, dudes from deep South Louisiana. Because they're like, none of that was any English. You know, it's just none of that made any sense. But either way, you mentioned that we have a lot to talk about, and we do, but we're actually a little lighter on my side of the things, because as we're in the final week of Ohio, I wanted to really hone in on two of the biggest games in the region. Matter of fact, game of the week is not being mentioned on this one, because I know, shock, awe, and horror. But it's a handful of teams in the GMC that I know we talked a lot about early. I think we've strayed away from as the season's gone on. But I think that they're all important names to know as we get into the playoff season. And so I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time to hunker down and focus on what they've got for us. So first off, let's start. Obviously, I said both games are GMC. Let's start with the top two teams in the conference based on record, Princeton and then Middletown.
Yep.
This is a really, really weird one to me. And whereas like East and West, like, you know, it's always going to be weird because it's that rivalry factor. Spoiler alert for the second game that we're talking about. But this one is two teams that I knew Middletown was going to be weird coming into the year, because after having watched what happened with them last year, and how they essentially had such a strong start to the season and then fell off, it was always going to be which side of that coin are we going to get at least closer to? It seems as though the first half of their season is what we're getting. So let's talk a little bit about the Middies. They are 7-2 to this point in the year. Their best wins to this point, I would say Lakota East is their signature victory, 27-6 over a very good team, shutting that offense down, which again we will talk about. Very, very impressive in my book. Sure. And then Fairfield is right on the outside of the top four. So it goes Princeton, it goes Middletown, it goes West, it goes East, then it's Fairfield. Middletown beat Fairfield 19-2.
Okay.
So if you haven't already figured it out, just based on those two, the defense is where their bread is buttered. The losses that you need to talk about, Lakota West, they lost there 27-13. And then last week, a genuine shocker, the most shocking result, I would argue, certainly on the week, and then probably top 5 or 6 all year, they lost to Hamilton, who is a 3-16 now after that result. That game finished 14-10. So it was a close one. It was just honestly, I think that Middletown probably overlooked Hamilton in preparation for what they had coming up against them in the Vikings.
Sure.
Came back to bite them. So overall, some of the numbers we want to talk about, since I have kind of teased that defense has been the dominating force: 28 sacks, 82 tackles for loss. Yeah. That is over 9 a game. Yeah. They get after it, and then 14 interceptions. So they're ball hawks. They force your turnover. They get after your guys. They make you uncomfortable every chance they get. It is a pretty spread out attack on defense. But first, we do want to talk about some of the offensive guys that you need to know. Okay. Justin Bourne took over at quarterback in the last couple of weeks. Joseph Ward no longer playing. I don't know if that's injury. I don't know what happened there. But we do know that Bourne had 206 passing yards, 9 for 14, 2 touchdowns against Mason. And then last week, around about 50%, 20 for 38, 189, 2 interceptions versus Hamilton. Also had a really good line against Coleraine. Started that game. Coleraine has not quite found their footing this year. But we knew that was going to be a long-term ordeal anyways. So interested to see which of those 2 versions of Bourne we get to see. Okay. Because his first game that he was back in, wildly efficient. Both relatively similar levels of competition, but 2 very wildly different outcomes. So keep your eye on that. Somebody who you know is going to be pretty consistent for him year in, year out, or I guess week in, week out. Dimitri and James, 479 rush yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. If the passing game is working for them, expect to see Ace Cooper. He is dynamite. He is such a talented receiver. He has 21 catches, 460 yards. So, I mean, over 20 yards per catch there, 5 touchdowns. And then since I mentioned the defense, I would be remiss not to tell you about J.D. Singletary, who has 10.5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, and a pick. And then Virgil Coleman has 4 interceptions in that secondary. So, again, like I said, not all coming from one direction or the other, but Singletary and Coleman seem to kind of be the drivers and the engine for how that defense is run. Mm-hmm. And then you have the guys who are coming in supplementary to make things happen.
Well, and it's nice to have both ends of the defense, with the line and the backs, working in tandem to create a little bit of havoc, things like that. Yeah. Does Prince now? This is my thing where we've talked. I know we've talked about Middletown like once or twice. Mm-hmm. Talked about Princeton,
quite a bit.
Kind of like once in full.
Yes.
And then like casual mentions every other time because you're like, hey, don't forget that they're here.
Yep.
But we can't. Like it's just they're gonna win today. Like
right.
Okay.
Yeah. They've had such a dominant run of the season.
Does it feel like that defense is going to match? Because I mean, the Princeton offense has been their bread and butter, correct?
I mean, for the most part, it's weird though because like their passing game is not that fleshed out still.
Okay.
Which is really honestly, if I had to say. If Princeton didn't win a title, I would say, it was probably because of the passing game, not quite knowing what it's going to be. They have like 5 dudes who have like multiple pass attempts. Okay. They have like position players throwing the ball around, but their run attack very efficient.
Fun is what I'm hearing.
Yes, exactly.
That's fun.
But fun in the kind of way that you look at the box score and go, I don't understand what's happening.
Why were we having fun?
Right, correct. It's very much a jigsaw puzzle when you get in there.
Okay.
But overall, I would argue that their defense is probably still more prominent, but their offense has certainly been in such a position to build up the score and run up the check on other teams.
Okay.
Because it is, like I said, such an efficient running attack. Quickly, do want to mention they are undefeated in conference, 8-1 record. We know who the one loss was. It was Moeller, 41-20 at the very beginning of the year. They beat East and West. And then to compare some numbers here, so we had Middletown with 28 sacks. Princeton has 29. Okay. We had 82 tackles for loss on both sides.
Ooh.
And then the big difference that swings in the direction of Middletown, which I don't think really will be a super big factor in this game, is Princeton has 3 picks. That's all they've got this year. They're not just a super, dominating situation in their secondary, at least in form of turnover. They can swat the ball out of the air, but they don't come up with it very often.
Okay.
So, names that you need to know. Loris Barnes, for all intents and purposes, is the quarterback. Almost 600 passing yards, round about 50% completion rate, 9 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Yeah.
It's just a strange setup. I would argue that they work off so much better as an offense by just breaking out the surprise attack through the air when they can. Zion Neal tends to be the guy that they lean to for that. Yep. He's got 241 passing. He is just under 50% completion rate. But you also have to remember that he has 605 rushing yards, 10.4 yards per carry, 10 trips to the end zone. Also has 143 receiving yards in a touchdown. He is listed as a receiver on their roster. He is everything for them. But when you crack into it, he's just the ultimate weapon for them, and no matter where he's lined up, you can expect him to make a play in some facet.
Okay.
Other guys that you got around him, you want to mention David Hambrick, who is kind of the more traditional running back for them. 444 rushing yards, 6.3 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. And then I would argue that the main stat compiler for their defense to this point has been Terrence Jones, 7 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. So I think that my big key to this game is, can Middletown figure out their quarterback situation and feel confident enough to attack the passing game? That would be my big one, because I know that Middletown has the horses in their front seven to cause problems for the run game. Mm-hmm. I know that. I mean, you don't have 82 tackles for loss, 9 of those per game, and not be able to stop the running game in some capacity.
Yeah.
So it really does come down to how Wellborn takes this position, if he can kind of get over the hump from what happened last week and then build upon what happened the week prior to that and really just take the bull by the horns here.
Okay.
That's my key.
So this is one where I'll be really honest with you, where I'm thinking, like, as you've been talking, like, I know who I think has the advantage.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that it's Middletown.
Okay.
And I only say that because you have the similar run defenses. Mm-hmm. You have the weaker pass defense on, not necessarily weaker, but like not as high statistically.
Right. A sack difference. Defense. It's splitting hairs.
Well, and I'm thinking of interceptions,
I got you. I was thinking pass rush.
To me, Middletown is going to deny a Princeton passing game.
Yes.
Now, obviously, there's that weirdness of, like, hey, who's going to be running with the ball? Who would be throwing it? Do we need to,
how do you cover this?
Monitor scheme and know when they line up like this that this is an option type thing? I mean, it's a lot of film watching, basically.
Yes, tons.
But I don't think that matters if you're just getting back behind the line and stopping anything from developing. And now I know that that's ironic to say because it's just both sides.
Right. No, but it makes sense.
But to me, it's then if it gets off, it's more likely a pick. Mm-hmm. It's something that the secondary picks up on. This feels like just a defensive battle.
Yes.
To the very end. That if you texted me on Friday and you're like, hey, 7-0. I've been like, makes sense.
We're like that high, huh?
Wow, they really got into the end zone. That's insane. So I am going to go with the middies on this one.
Okay, I like it, and I have kind of flipped back and forth on this. Like whenever I was doing the notes, I really hadn't found a point that felt all that comfortable to me. Here's the reason I'm going to go for Princeton.
Go for it.
Because, and this is a compliment sandwich, absolutely, and I'm aware of this. Middletown did such a good job of holding probably the best running back in the conference, Ryder Hooks, to a pretty minimal setup in their win against Lakota East.
Yes.
I fear that defense was able to concentrate so solely on him, and their secondary is so good that now Knutson, like they could trust that both portions of the game would do their own job and be fine.
Okay.
I think that despite the fact that Princeton's passing attack is very inconsistent, they average about 50% completion rate on their own, I still think that it's a situation of so much chaos coming out of that offense, so much controlled chaos for them because they've won so many games at this point while it's still working. I think that that's going to be a key to success because it's just going to create division within that defense that one Ryder Hooks can't do. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Like having those multiple facets, I think is going to be the key to victory for them. And I think that they might throw this ball 10 times or fewer in the game.
Okay.
I think that they might just run the skin out of it, win 14-10, 14-7, whatever it is. But I do like the fact, I don't like the fact that Middletown lost to Hamilton, but I like that it happened as close to this game as it did, because that's going to put a fire in the Middies.
Yeah, it says, hey, get it together.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You got to go. So, right on. I'm glad we split early. And then, no kidding. And then, like I mentioned, I'm only doing 2 games this week. I've already teased, and we've talked about both of these teams already.
Yep.
Lakota East significantly already in this episode of the podcast, because I was just on a Ryder Hooks rant.
Yep.
We've got East versus West, a battle out in Westchester. This is not at all how I expected this game to look when we got here, or when we started the season.
Okay.
As you know, Lakota West was my favorite to win this conference. Mm-hmm. They are not in that race. They haven't been in that race for a couple weeks now.
Okay.
And it's been a strange road for the Firebirds. They are 6-3, both teams 6-3 here. Their losses include to St. X by 7, which, didn't hurt the ego by any stretch. That was a toss-up game, a game that we talked about immediately because we knew it was going to be good. Mm-hmm. Then they lose to Princeton, the champion of the conference, 27-10. And then the week after that, they lost to Fairfield, 10-7. Right outside of that top 4 bubble. Not a bad team.
No.
But not a team that champions can lose to. Now, you have to beat the middle of the pack. That's what separates you from the middle of the pack. Yes. And so even a 3-point loss there was still it was one of those that West almost looked to be in a funk after they lost that Princeton game. They've turned it around pretty significantly. So, their best win, I would say, is Middletown, 27-13. Okay. And then they won 4 straight after that Fairfield loss, which was Middletown by 14, and then none closer than 32 points after that.
Okay.
That was the lower half of the conference. Mm-hmm. But still, you have to have get-right games. And they had a lot of those, started building up their headspace, kind of working themselves back into being the Lakota West that we expected them to be.
For sure.
The numbers that you need to pay attention to, 24.5 sacks, it's just 24, I think. I think I probably mistyped that. You can't have half a sack. And then 9 interceptions, 2 of those pick sixes. So, gotta like the odds there. There's an insane ratio coming up in Lakota East, by the way. Get ready for that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, we just spent a lot of time talking about the running game of Middletown and Princeton. Mm-hmm. I think Lakota West wins this game through the air, if they are to win it.
Okay.
Jackson Smith has been a very impressive quarterback, very efficient, racking up numbers, racking up, just accumulated stats there. Over 1,500 passing yards, 62.5% completion rate, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he's also got 3 rushing touchdowns. Kenyon Norman, the running back, almost to that 700 mark. I presume that he'll get to that point after this game. He's at 688, 5.2 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns, over 250 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns there. Tyson Davis is their leading receiver to this point, 556 receiving yards, 16.4 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. And then Cam Thomas leads with 5.5 sacks for the defense. Colin Ogletree, 2 interceptions, one of those being a pick 6.
Very nice.
Very structured team. It was a weird middle of the year. Mm-hmm. They have returned to Tom Bolden's style of football. They've decided, no, we are going to be the consistently functional, efficient, and just overall stable team that has made us so successful over the years.
Sure.
Lakota East has thrived significantly more on chaos.
My favorite.
Exactly. They are offense first. I mean, when you have a former NFL quarterback, that is to be expected as your head coach. Obviously, he's not playing quarterback for them.
Hey, with eligibility rules nowadays, who knows?
You really know. Hey, he can't be any older than Diego Pod. But as I mentioned, both teams 6-3 coming into this one. Lakota East, a strange-ish setup with their losses. It's the top 2 teams, but it's weird as to how it went. Sure. Mason, they lost by 5 when D'Angelo Birch at the beginning of the year was just on fire. Mm-hmm. Kid looked great. Obviously, made it a firestorm. I see Austin Brisky back there too. Don't you worry. But made it an offensive firestorm. Managed to come out on the other side of it there, 40-35. You lose to Princeton. You don't want it to be that big, 42-7. rather lopsided on that front. And then Middletown 27-6. So those two defenses really
Shut
came in
them down.
clutch.
Yeah.
Yes, and when you have such talent as Niall Knudsen and Ryder Hooks, it's really strange that that's how that's fallen out for them. I would think that you would at least get 14, maybe into that 20-ish range, being how they are and being how offense first they are. Because just listen to these numbers. Niall Knudsen, over 1,700 passing yards, 73% completion rate, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. Ryder Hooks, the all-time leading Lakota East rusher, over 1,400 rushing yards, 9.4 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. Also almost 300 receiving yards. Also 2 picks, 2 interceptions, or 2 pick sixes.
Why not?
Also glazed over this because it was the crazy ratio that I referenced and then I forgot to say it.
Yeah.
They have 10 picks, right? 4 of those have been touchdowns.
40%.
Yeah.
Why not?
40%.
Yeah.
That's better than most people shoot threes. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
actually.
Also, a comparison I would love to make between Lakota East players.
Okay.
Do you remember Trey Perry?
The name is
Yes.
familiar. Yeah.
He was kind of the leading scorer
From
for
last
Lakota.
year.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was Lakota East's leading scorer. I believe he's not at Miami. He's somewhere though. He's playing ball at the next level. Either way, I know that kid's a baller. I have seen highlights where he is just crazy. I have had such poor luck of actually seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Because teams triple teamed Trey Perry every time I'd go to a Lakota East basketball game. Teams lock in on Ryder Hooks.
Yes.
So it's just kind of a weird that they're both also Lakota East kids, that whatever.
But they said no, Lakota East, you don't get to have.
Exactly. They just are it's so if my camera's on the sideline, I feel bad for that kid. Because it's just been such bad luck. Because I know that they're ballers.
Because you know that you're going to shut them down.
Correct. I watch the final quarter every week. I see so much Ryder Hooks.
Yeah.
I go out there. I went out there earlier this year when they were playing Oak Hills.
When he was going to break the record.
And then he didn't.
Yep.
Because I was there. So apologies, Ryder, if you're listening to this.
Well,
You have 3 receivers for this offense, over 300 yards. Carter Jones, Patrick McFarland, Christopher Boyer, and then Cole Miranda, the name I wanted to kind of single out, is leading the team, I believe, with interceptions alongside Ryder. With 2 of those, also has 2.5 tackles for loss.
beautiful.
So, rivalry again. Everything I just said does not matter.
No.
Because these kids are going to play their best football that they have all year.
Correct.
Or at least their most aggressive football.
Oh, for sure. Those schools, it's you're in the community around each other.
Correct.
You probably know the people on the other team. You've probably played summer ball or whatever with each other.
Yep.
You're going to come for each other's heads and for threats.
And who amongst us would be willing to go to the Top Golf in Westchester after you've lost this game? You can't show your face at the Top Golf. You can't visit the Barnes & Noble across the block.
I didn't realize where you were taking that. I was like, why? I'm like, I'd go to the Top Golf if you wanted,
No,
but
the rivalry.
Yeah.
It's hometown.
But yeah, if
you
can't go to the AMC, you
Correct.
can't go to Top Golf.
No more
You can't
Chewies.
even go to the Duluth Trading Company.
No more Chewies. Dude.
No more Chewies.
And who wants to live in a world with no more Chewies?
Not me.
Point being, the stakes could not be higher between these two teams, especially because not only does it determine the bragging rights between the two, it also determines who gets third place in the conference.
Yes.
Which is just, or I guess maybe second because of where Middletown, whatever. But
Yeah, depending on
still,
how things end up.
your
but-
name is going to be right above the other Lakota if you win this game.
Yep.
So, I cede it to you.
You said it the best. This is a game that's going to be chaos.
Yes.
And which team
Oh.
thrives in chaos?
Oh, okay.
Lakota East.
They sure do.
So
They
I'm
sure
gonna
do.
go. I'm gonna go with East here.
We are going to split completely.
Yep.
I'm happy
Finally.
about this. Yes, listen. For those who listen, we do not do a good job of trying to engage the cliques of being like, oh, I'll take this team and he'll take this team.
Yeah.
We just say who we think's going to win these games. As you can tell, because we don't split that often.
Nope.
I am so proud of us
Good job.
for splitting.
Good job, us.
Yes, I think the Firebirds had a weird middle of the season. I think it was uncharted territory for Tom Bolton's team, but I think he has gotten out of it. I think he has successfully waded through those waters. I think his players have shown that they are willing to recover and build for the long haul. And I think that they win a close one. I think that their defense lets up a little bit more at least, than they're comfortable with. But I think Jackson Smith has a really good game here, and I think they win.
And my only other thing that I'll add is that the Lakota East Athletic Department was very helpful and worked with me a lot to make a story happen a little over a year ago.
Fantastic people.
So I am still holding on to that, and I go Lakota East. Go
Fantastic people. Fantastic people. There's no such thing as a bad person in Westchester. But
unless you're up there.
Thanks. Also, want to quickly mention our FOX19 game of the week. We did not talk about this week. Baden and McNicholas. We just talked about Baden, who beat. My brain is malfunctioning. Alter. Sorry.
Alter, yeah.
My bad. They beat Alter, so that in turn in English. Yes, it is my first language.
I believe in you.
Eliminated.
Yes.
The Triangle of Chaos. That hurt my feelings. So. It will be a very good game. It's going to get top billing. It's going to be something that you need to tune in on Friday for. But since we had just talked about Baden, we have talked quite a bit about McNick through other avenues and ventures and what have you.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to just kind of let the guys have that one this week.
There we go.
Yeah. So more football continues.
We have more football continues. And, it's one of those weeks where you kind of have some interesting games. You kind of have some not so interesting games. It's another one where a lot of you know how
I was so worried you led off with the other one.
No. Okay. I'm not leading with that game.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
But no, I am leading with the most interesting game in my heart.
I would agree.
And that is Baylor Cincinnati.
You know what you've done here, Brad.
The number 21 Cincinnati.
You know what you're setting me up
I organized them by importance.
Well, but also, you know that there's a certain person involved in this game that I love to talk about.
Oh, true. So let's talk about Cincinnati. This is a 4 p.m. game.
Yes, it is.
On Saturday. It's homecoming. Get rowdy.
Get rowdy.
Brendan Sorsby.
Come on, Dave.
1732 yards.
Superman.
18 touchdowns. One interception.
Kid is a baller.
85.5 QB rating.
Yes.
That is good for 6th in the NCAA.
Beautiful.
Heisman. You heard it here first. Put him in the Heisman watch.
Unfortunately, Ty Simpson is running away with that.
I don't care.
But he should definitely be on the short list.
Put him in the 5.
If you have to put 10 names on a piece of paper of like, who is your Heisman right now, he should be on that list of 10. Also, you've forgotten accolade.
What did I miss?
The best quarterback in the state of Ohio.
Oh, well. But that's the start. This is the start of the Heisman campaign for Sorsby.
Okay. We've
been on the best quarterback in the state of Ohio campaign.
We've gone beyond the borders of the Buckeyes.
We're taking over the country.
Okay.
We're leaving Ohio. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Ooh, but Fernando Mendoza is pretty good.
He is very good.
And that pains me to say.
Kentucky. What's wrong with
you?
you?
It's like, go down there.
We have spent far too much of our lifetimes talking about Cutter Bowling.
Also Miller Moss.
Yeah. But hey, they just beat Miami. So
they did.
Jeff Brom respect.
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Joe Danneman.
But
you're going to be on this seat next week. No. You need a mic.
Get out of here. Cincinnati offense has kicked into gear. Clearly listened to the podcast. Went, hey, you know what? That guy's right.
Yes.
We need to fix this run game. We need to get this pass game. We got to let Brendan go off.
Yes. It's like Scott Satterfield.
Yeah.
I have never respected, and I've never respected something more. Sorry. I should not just stop in the middle of that.
Good save.
I love when coaches, especially at the collegiate level, go, you know what? This guy is very clearly the guy. I'm just going to let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Because it works. Like a lot of the time. That's what made Manziel work.
It didn't work one game.
Yep.
And I feel like it was because it wasn't fully trusted.
Yep.
And then from there it went, do it. Go for it.
I would be shocked if Satterfield didn't go into the locker room after that one, sit down with Sorsby and say, look, here are the keys.
Drive the car.
Lock up whenever you're done here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are the University of Cincinnati Sorsby's this year, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because he's dumb. He's playing great.
Yes.
And he's kind of willed a roster and a team that we did not have high expectations for into a stratosphere that they should not have been in. And all the credit in the world to him.
Yes. This was the thing there was something that I was thinking to myself. I'm like, because I was thinking of past Cincinnati coaches.
Yes.
If you had told me going into this year that of all the past and current coach, Satterfield would have the best record, I would have gone, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you really can't even argue that it's like it's because he plays in the Big 12. Because he's still playing good Big 12 schools. They put down an Iowa State team that was supposed to be a shoe-in for the CFP. It was supposed to be them and Texas Tech, and then maybe Utah and maybe BYU.
And then even Texas Tech fell this week.
Yeah.
There's a lot up in the air still with the Big 12, and like I said kind of last time, it's like Cincinnati just can take this from
Absolutely here. They can. They control their destiny clearly. You are going to have to talk about the other team, though.
Yeah, and
you know that
So one of the things that I noticed with how Baylor is just that their run defense seems exploitable.
Yes, very.
It's the weaker part of it. It's a decent to good pass defense. It's a weak to all right run defense.
Yes, and it's a team that I feel so much better about when they're in Waco than anywhere else in the country. They could just be driving 5 minutes down the road to a high school field, and I'm still like, I don't know about this team anymore. If they're not playing in their home field, I'm like, couldn't tell you.
They could go to TCU, and I would still be
literally.
Know.
I mean, it is night and day weird with how that team runs. Dave Aranda continues to be one of the strangest coaches to watch. Yeah. And that's all I'll say about it, because I know that I've exhausted my Dave Aranda limit across my lifetime.
At least finally, it's like, we're bringing up Dave Aranda when we're talking about Baylor.
It's pertinent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? And honestly,
isn't it cool when we do that?
Honestly, might be a first for the podcast, period. No Dave Aranda included.
True.
We have fun. Either way, Baylor is such a strange team that a little part of me wants to be like, maybe this is a bit of a chaotic game.
I think it will be chaotic. I don't think Cincinnati can come into this thinking this is a shoe-in, probably like they did last week against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Obviously different situations with those teams, but there's always a chance when you come up against a Baylor team that they do something funky and throw you off, and then you're always you're a step behind, and you're just trying to catch up. Yeah. And once you get back, you might not be able to catch it up.
And they're not a bad team. I think it's a chaotic half. I'll give it that.
You think it's going to be a first half where we go, maybe this is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be?
Not in the same way.
Okay.
I think it's going to be higher scores, but I think it's going to be very much like what am I watching Toledo, Kentucky?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where it was like, why are these two teams tied at half?
How did they end up this way?
I think it's more like 17-17 instead of 9-9.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. But
the weird numbers that they found.
Correct. But because
I
think Kentucky won that game 19-9. It's like, how did you do that? What happened?
They tried.
That had to be scoregami. Either way, I think that we go into the half. UC fans are probably significantly more doom and gloom than they should be, because they're like, what is happening? We are falling apart. And then the world heals itself.
And that's one thing with UC too, is the defense. I saw the statistic for havoc plays this week, and they're in the quadrant 4, which is the bottom left.
Right.
You want to be in the upper right, even upper left, bottom right. You're doing something right on either the line or in the secondary.
Right.
Being in the bottom left
means you're
not doing something right in either.
Correct.
And so they were sitting on there, which havoc plays are tackles for loss, forced fumbles, interceptions, sacks, deflections, things like that. And so I'm kind of I need a little more action. I need a little more juice from the defense. And sometimes the action is the juice.
Yes.
But,
absolutely.
We'll have to see. I'm picking Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Do you offhand know what the spread was? Did you write those numbers down?
No, I did not.
Okay. I would take Cincinnati by 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 7 to 10.
Yeah,
in that range somewhere. But another local game happening. Miami hosting Western Michigan.
Up in Oxford.
Up in Oxford. Battle for the top of the MAC with Buffalo.
As it was written.
As it was written.
As everybody knew was coming.
As you and I discussed early on, definitely never saying the words Toledo or Ohio.
We said, Jason Candle's a good coach, but you know who's better? Pete Lembo.
To be fair, I did say Buffalo was the fourth.
No. Yes, you had him as a sneaky outsider, and I kind of discredited you on that.
Yeah.
I was just like, what are you talking about?
And
Khalil Mack nor Jarrett Patterson are there. So, no.
Western had a 14-13 win over Toledo this year. That was kind of when this whole thing started of like, oh, Western might be the team. Lost to Michigan State, Illinois. Lost their non-conference games pretty, except for one, which was against, I think, Princeton or Rhode Island. It was a northeastern school that I'd never talk about with football, respectfully.
The Northeast has football?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just gets cold. But
they stop in November.
It was like 30 points difference between of course, those are Big Ten teams against MAC school.
Right.
I get it. Quarterback Brock Lowry has 992 passing yards, 427 rushing, 200 more than either halfback that is doing a lot of the running.
Stomping around currently.
I think that Western will cover the passing game well. I don't think this is going to be a game where they need to depend on DeQuan Finn.
No.
It's going to be one where you want to get the run game established early, and I think if you do that and get it working, you're going to be in a better spot than if you try to keep it in the air.
I have not gotten to see that much of Buffalo this year.
Western Michigan.
Sorry, Western Michigan. What am I doing? What is wrong with my head?
You're right.
I have seen even less of Western Michigan.
Fair.
I think that I just kind of have to rely on the fact that Miami's blueprint was always, as we continue to say, figure it out against better teams, P4 teams, and then when you get to the MAC, be the MAC team that Chuck Martin is able to coach every single year. I think that trend continues.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to go all in on Miami.
Okay.
But I am going to pick Miami.
Okay.
But I'm going to say right now, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a Western Michigan win.
Yeah, no, I that's fair.
It's one of those coin flip games that I'm kind of like, I don't know if I've seen enough from either team to really know, like to be like, yeah, that's how this is going to go.
I think a lot of me is just putting so much weight into DeQuan Finn being as good as he was at Toledo, and where it's just like that.
And I don't know if he's hit that level again yet, but he is. I do think he's doing better than he did at Baylor.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
so.
Well, yeah. He's returning back to the place that got him right.
Yes. Absolutely.
Is the next one I think it is?
No.
Oh, yes.
Boston College.
We continue to survive.
At Louisville, number 19 Louisville, 7:30 p.m.
We don't have to talk about this one long.
So Louisville.
Did you see Bill O'Brien this week? No, being serious. Did you see his presser?
No, I did not.
Where the member of the media was just like, "Hey, Bill, like, what do you think needs worked on? How do you think you fix what's happening?" And he's pretty much like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
He was just like, "I don't know how to fix it. Maybe I don't have the horses. Maybe I'm not me. But like, I don't know." So
bad time for Belichick coaches.
Man, and to think, there's a world where if he would have stayed at Alabama for one more year,
yeah, one or two,
he would have been back in talks for Penn State.
Early.
He could have made the return, but he went to Boston College.
Yeah.
It's just
and that's a basketball school.
Yes, it is. I think Boston College is like a legitimately snake bit team.
Yeah.
And
it's Boston College is the P4. I want to say it's Louisiana Tech, where Louisiana Tech's. I shouldn't say that it's. I know it's a Louisiana school because there's a few of them that I mix up. Their literal goal it's ULM Monroe.
Yeah.
Or ULM.
Yeah.
University of Louisiana Monroe. The goal is don't be last in the NCAA. Like it's get up from there. Yeah. And I think Boston College is a don't be last in the ACC.
Yes.
Yeah, and Rutgers was probably a don't be last in the Big Ten, even though they were.
Yes. But you've got Northwestern.
Hey. And the ACC has...
I mean, Virginia Tech recently.
Stanford?
Yeah, they do.
Now...
Atlantic-based team.
Cal.
Yeah,
but the
like,
Huskies are looking good.
Yeah, hey now.
Hey
now.
I'm not gonna throw hate.
I'll keep Stanford. Stanford's fine.
They trolled Bill Belichick, and it was great.
Even though I think Andrew Luck is going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and get a decent head coach. Not the
somehow, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Louisville beat Miami, number 2 Miami, knocked them down. That was not on the back of the offense, because we were talking about Miller Mouse earlier, and you were like, "Well, but they beat Miami," and I'm like, "But Miller Mouse arguably didn't."
Yeah, he tried to not beat Miami.
Every time they cut to Jeff Brom, you could tell he was yelling an explicitive and saying, "What are we doing out there?"
You know who beat Miami? Because it was a quarterback.
It was. I was about to say Miller Mouse. Carson Beck.
Yes, it was. You can't throw that many interceptions and beat a good team.
You can't be like, "Well, the fourth one wasn't my fault." Okay, what about the other 3?
Yeah, literally. Also very funny. That quite literally the podcast before that, I waxed poetically about how all these Georgia quarterbacks don't work in Mike Bobo's system. And
now Mike Bobo's system's working and Carson Beck isn't.
Gunnar Stockton is like a top 5 quarterback in the SEC, and then Carson Beck just regressed to the mean.
Yeah, why not?
What a week.
You did that. Good job.
I don't know that I want credit for that. And if I do take credit for it, I don't think I want a good job.
But yeah,
that makes me feel mean.
This is a Louisville defense run year. It's odd to say that the offense of a Jeff Brom run team is not the gas, but it is the defense this year, and I'm excited for that. You're going to need Miller Mouse to step up. I mean, Miami's a tough team. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's not going to have the same issues against Boston College.
No.
I think that's going to be fine.
No.
But we'll want to see as it continues on, as they start to because now the ACC race is kind of wide open again.
Yeah.
I think technically it's SMU at the very top, because if I'm not mistaken, they haven't lost a conference game.
Yeah, they lost to Baylor.
Yeah.
And then they've lost to... They have 2 losses, don't they?
But that's not a...
Right,
Baylor's
but I'm trying
not
to figure...
conference.
No, I know, but I'm trying to figure out who the other one was.
Oh, yeah. But like they haven't lost a conference game since like last year or like 2 years ago. It's
Right, last year's
something
good. I don't know if everybody's aware of that yet, but...
Surprise.
Should be a candidate for Florida. Also from Arkansas, but will not take that job.
I think he is a candidate for Florida, to be fair.
Yes, but
yeah.
Again, the Arkansas thing. I just wanted.
Man, there's so many SEC schools that are going to be up for...
Did you hear that South Carolina might be open?
No.
Because Beamer could go do his dad's legacy in VT?
I guess so.
I don't think he does it.
I don't think he does either.
But it's a cool thought. I would much rather see that than him at South Carolina.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sorry.
Okay. I know why you're doing it.
Yeah, you do.
It's because you don't want to talk about Kroger Field.
No.
You don't want to talk about the Kentucky Wildcats.
No.
And you don't want to talk about the Tennessee Volunteers.
Who actively wants to talk about the Kentucky Wildcats?
No, number 17, Tennessee at Kentucky, 7:45 p.m.
Oh, it's such a late kick, too.
And,
Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to the nighttime?
How about that Crimson Tide last week? Jackson, do you have any feelings, any thoughts so far about the Tennessee Volunteers and what Kentucky is going to be coming into or bringing into Kroger Field this week?
I try so hard.
Yeah.
Because we have to talk about Kentucky.
Yes, we do.
Every week.
Yes, we do.
And so I try to remove my bias.
Mm-hmm.
I try to not mention the Tennessee Volunteers because I feel like that discredits me and it becomes a thing because I do not want to hate on Kentucky. I would like to see them be better than they are. I would like this rivalry game to matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't right now. I say that Bama game was awful. And I watched Tennessee quit.
Yes.
That pick six, the game was over after that.
Yeah.
Going into halftime, you could have just never came back on the field, and it would have been fine.
Energy dropped. Yeah.
Significantly. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a coaching thing. I don't know if that's because your roster is young-ish and you don't have the leaders in place. I don't know what contributes to that. Mm-hmm. What I do know is that offense is insane when they're not back to the wall and scared by what's already happened to them. Kentucky is not going to be capable of forcing that reaction out of Tennessee.
Correct.
The Tennessee offense, there are, I would say, maybe 10 defenses, and that feels generous, in the country that could force that kind of reaction out of them. Kentucky is not one.
Kentucky last week, obviously, took Texas to overtime.
Yes.
If it had been week 1, we would have been talking about it like the Georgia game last year.
We would have. Or like the Ole Miss game earlier this year.
True.
Yep.
Texas is not back. Arch needs more time to develop.
Yep.
And arguably the offense just needs to figure out what they're going to do. And obviously I think that starts with a quarterback for the Longhorns. On the flip side, Kentucky kind of needs both sides of the ball to start doing more.
The D-line is all you can really trust, and like you said, some safeties.
Yeah, and even at this point, I almost go, it's the D-line.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
you lose the secondary, and it lets Arch Manning look better.
You know what I'm so very curious of?
Go for it.
How many players enter the portal after Stoops is gone? Assuming he gets fired. I don't know that
because you get the idea, because to you it's the question of,
is your stock better than what you could get outside of Kentucky, and taking your chance with the new guy, not replacing him?
Yeah.
Because he's going to replace some of them. Sure. And I'm sure that those guys will be notified of such when it happens.
I'm sure he'll work a little bit with some, but yeah. You're not going to get a Dion situation.
No.
But yes, I do think it'll be curious to see what happens with that.
Are you insinuating that Kentucky's next head football coach's luggage will not be Louis? Do you know what I'm referencing? Please.
Yes,
okay.
I know what you're referencing.
Go.
And I was trying to think of if I could remember if there's a luggage company in Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky, that's
just
famous.
I think.
Yeah, it's Buffalo Trace
yes.
is going to be the luggage.
Also, for those who don't get the reference, because the best kind of references are the ones that you explain.
Yeah.
There was a video of Dion whenever he first joined UC where he told players that they could pack their stuff because he has his own luggage and it's Louis.
Can we say specifically the University of Colorado instead of UC?
That's a good point. Well, it's CU also.
Also, it's CU. It's Colorado University.
What am I doing?
Hey, we got there.
Listen, Louis Vuitton. That's the end of my statement.
Tennessee.
What's the spread? Do we have that number this week?
You know what? I'm gonna just for you. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay. Because I'm sure I'm gonna.
What do you want to guess? The
23.5.
Man, I really wouldn't be surprised at that. Oh, San Francisco Giants hired Tennessee head coach.
I saw that. That's
okay.
I'm doing everything I can not to talk about it.
This was just I just pull it up and
thank
it's
goodness
in front of my
we are
face.
not a baseball podcast right now, Bradford.
Ooh.
What?
ESPN has the spread at 7.5.
I don't listen to my gambling advice. I might put an irresponsible amount of money on that.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean 7.5?
I know. I'm like, listen.
Did
I know you're fired up. If it was 10, I'd be like, that's reasonable.
Yeah, 23.5 was definitely high. That is me being me.
Yeah.
But it should be at least 13.
Yeah. 10 to 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns I think is a sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can that feels like a 48 4% to the house.
If Kentucky covers, I might just let Brisky do the podcast. I won't be here either.
If Kentucky covers, you're going to get a video sent to you from me, and I'll be doing the college bit, and you can just splice it in there.
What is it? Just reading my eulogy?
Yeah. It's reading it's going to be reading poetry at you for 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, what a disaster.
So that's where we stand on the college game.
We are also smoking our time.
No, we're good, because the great thing is that we've got a fun interview right now that we're going to take a listen to. I went and sat down because Xavier volleyball. I know basketball season's starting up. Volleyball has been going.
Yes.
Xavier is set in position to, if they win both of their matches this weekend, they've already beat their conference record wins from last year.
Yes.
So they are going to be. When I looked at how they've been playing so far this year, they have 2 losses, one to UC, one to a ranked Creighton team that, if you know anything about volleyball, you don't face teams from Nebraska.
Yep.
And
And that holds true with Creighton.
And it holds true with Creighton, and Creighton is a tough team, and still good on them. But I sat down with Xavier head coach Christy Peffenberger, talking a little bit about what has been fueling this team, and she gave us a little bit of insight into what the players have been calling their revenge tour. So let's go ahead and listen to that. Joining me now is Xavier head coach Christy Peffenberger. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I wanted to kind of come in, catch up, see how the season's been going so far. Obviously, it's been going pretty well. Only 2 losses so far this year. After a year like last year, a little bit of a rougher go. What has been the biggest thing in your mind that has kind of helped get this season off to such a good start?
Well, really, the team started, like you said, it was a rough season last year. They knew we were better than what we performed, and so it really started in January. Kind of the new mindset and this kind of revenge tour concept that the team came up with, and they've really have put in the work every single day since January to kind of make this happen. So.
I was going to say, has it been for them? You said the revenge tour. Is it a, Big East focused? We can, I mean, right now you're second, I believe, behind Creighton.
Yep.
Again, the only Big East loss that you've had was to Blue Jays. Is it focused on in conference? Is it just we're better than everybody else in the NCAA that might be, looking down on us?
I mean, that definitely has a piece to it. I think we've been grinding for a while, and we know we've been better than what we've been performing, even prior to last season. And the image that people have of us, we've known isn't the best. But we know what we have here, and so we kind of want to protect that a little bit. And it's partly with conference, but it's part, the city, the region, all of it. It was time to prove what we've known for a while. And like I said, there wasn't an August start with that mentality. Like, this group took it upon themselves, even in the off season, to do the dirty work and to grind. And in the summer, they did the work. And so now it's the result of that hard work and staying in the grind throughout the season. So part of it too is we always said that Xavier is a team that should be in the top of the Big East. And they were going to say that we've had some great programs with Creighton and Marquette in years past that I'm not going to go out and say we're winning the Big East every year. I mean, we've got to be realistic. Those are phenomenal programs. St. John's been great. Villanova's been great. UConn's been great. I mean, pick the year. There's 4 top teams in the Big East, and we've always said Xavier just needs to be one of them year in and year out. And so that starts in the off season to make that happen.
I think that's something that you're seeing across a lot of different conferences. I mean, the Big Ten historically, especially after adding Nebraska, at one point it just became, it's one of those 5 teams is going to be at the top, and they're going to figure it out. But I did want to talk a little bit about Marquette, because you just came off a 3-2 win on the road there. Talk to me a little bit about what the emotions were like after that match.
I mean, we haven't won there in a while, so obviously it's high. Obviously, everybody was really excited. It's been a few years since Xavier's won in that gym. Even taking a set, I think one of our 5th years was saying that she's never taken a set from Marquette, and that was eye-opening. I don't know the truth to that. I try to forget the bad ones, right? But so that the emotional piece for sure. They had a few players who played phenomenal. It was just we kind of lucked out some clutch moments where we showed up and they made errors, and so the score kind of went our way in those opportunities in this time. But they played a great match. So.
And I did want to also kind of talk about a couple of players. I mean, you've done looking at the roster and things like that. I find it just interesting to see the spread of where people are from, because it's not a entirely Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky recruitment. You've kind of pulled from all over. But I did want to highlight Emma Grace, the senior outside hitter from Notre Dame Academy. I mean, she's been leading with 245 kills, about 3% at this point. Kelsey Neeson from Roger Bacon with 29 aces leading the team. What kind of talent do you see from the high schools around this area that, just makes Cincinnati and kind of the Southwest Ohio area such a volleyball.
It's kind of just that blue collar grind attitude in the Midwest, and there's some great club programs and great high school programs that also embrace. That's how I grew up. You just get to work, and that's it. Like, if you want something, just find a way and keep grinding it out, and that's kind of what Cincinnati also embraces in that Midwest attitude. And I always say, if we can keep them home, that's going to be the best thing for us, because it's also that culture piece that's been huge for us. And if they can already understand that mentality when they come here, they're going to have a leg up, just because that's how I coach. So they're already going to have that leg up. And I get people want to move away from home, and so we don't keep every top player in the area nearby. And we also have, Kentucky, Dayton, Ohio, having some great programs at UC, obviously, Ohio State, that they're close enough, bigger conferences that they go there sometimes, but they want to be the hometown hero. I'm happy to have them here, and let's grind it out. So the clubs in this area just have that right mentality that I embrace as well.
Yeah. And obviously, as I said, 11th season as head coach. Things have changed, especially in the last few years, of how you have to approach recruiting with NIL. I always make the joke that that's my favorite thing to talk about especially on off seasons and things like that. Without having to go into the numbers and things like that, how have you felt that kind of? I imagine you're not recruiting the same way that you were in 2018 as you are today.
Yes and no. Yeah. Yes and no. The NIL concept to me, and we're at a place where I don't have to play that game, if that makes sense. Here it's about the basketball, and that's great. That's awesome. They need to be, and that's we do have some flexibility and some kind of money we can offer, but it's not near the P4 dollars that you're going to see in the top 25 programs and whatnot. And those players, those recruits want to play that game, and that's important to them. Go do it. It's not going to be here. And cool. Go do it. Go somewhere else. That everybody values something differently. And I really have honed in on the recruits and players that value what we offer here. It's about the whole person. It's about the student and the athlete, and becoming something better than yourself and playing for something bigger than yourself here at Xavier. And some players want that and the money, and so there's programs like that. Some players are just about the money, and there's programs for that. Here, it's about your education as well. And then what can you do after you leave here and you're set up for life, just becoming a whole person that way. And so yes and no. I think I've almost just gotten better at honing in on the type of questions and things that I'm looking for in high schoolers and in their family dynamics and what's really important to them. That's changed through my recruiting process. With one of their first 3 questions to me on a phone call right now is, what NIL do you have to offer? That pretty much tells me, good luck in your recruiting process, because I'm not going to play that game. Yeah. I'm just not.
Yeah, I there was some reporting about the budgets, and it's not even just the NIL budgets, but like just the budgets between a school like Nebraska, a historically dominant program, and even just from that to like 5th is millions of dollars of difference, and you're just like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, and it's fine. And again, that they could just be playing the field, and so it's not that we cut off conversation with them. It's just kind of like,
of course not.
All right, are they just trying to see what's out there, or is this really their kind of a deal breaker for them with it all? And so it's really separating programs out there, the have and the have-nots with millions of dollars difference.
Yes. And I wanted to kind of tie into that because you mentioned the Cincinnati community and the volleyball community around here. We've also seen the growth of not just college volleyball with broadcasts and things like that, but professional leagues like PVF, which is now Major League Volleyball, I believe. I know they just changed their name, and I totally agree. But Indianapolis and Columbus, both having teams right nearby. Have you noticed whether it is something for the players to kind of hope for as they graduate and are moving on, or also just like the fans of seeing more of an interest in the sport, around here?
I think the more televised volleyball that's been out there, there's a lot more interest of just watching the sport now, and just the comments that we're getting, the players are getting, and after matches of like, I saw this on the broadcast, I saw that on the broadcast. I think that it's phenomenal. It's great. And then knowing that there's professional volleyball after college, I think you're seeing it now in the younger collegiate players of like looking, like aspiring to do that.
Yes.
Where it was so new, some of the top players were like, well, I want to be part of creating this culture. But now I'm hearing more recruits talk about it. Hey, well, what can you do for me to help me get to the professional level now? And it's like, I love it. I love the question. Let's go. It's like we have the contacts, we have the connections. Let's go. And so it's a pretty neat to add that to the dynamic of it all.
Well, it's so nice to just be in the U.S. at that point.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
Because the option was like Italy, Spain, Turkey. I knew plenty of. I covered Purdue for 2 years. Saw a lot of people graduate and go to Europe, and it was like and now a lot of those players are able to stay home and things like that.
It's really neat,
Nice.
and there's still the opportunity overseas. I mean, we have an alum right now playing over in Europe, and so it's some dudes still want to go over there and explore and have that lifestyle for a few years, and then others who just want to play in front of their home crowd, and they have that here. So just the options and opportunities for them is phenomenal.
Yeah. And so, again, 7-1 in conference after an 8-10 season last year. You got 2 matches coming up this weekend to already, get past that win total from last year. You got St. John's on Friday, Seton Hall on Saturday. Do you have a message for fans who might be thinking about coming out?
Yeah, come on out. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, especially this weekend. Friday will be our Dig Pink match. It'll be a great environment. And then Saturday, I mean, both these teams fight. It's not, I don't care where they stand in conference. At any given day in the Big East, anybody can win. And they grind and they fight, and it's gonna be a battle. So it'll be a fun match.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
And we have 2 home weekends in a row. 2 home weekends. I know it's Halloween, but we have a match here. And then on Saturday, we're gonna have kind of a kids' day. So we wear costumes and come on out. We'll have our mascots. So November 1st will be kind of an extended Halloween. So it'll be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll send it back to me and Jackson. So yeah, thanks again to Coach Pfaffenberger for sitting down and talking with me about that. A lot of great discussion in there, getting a little bit of the inside look at college sports, and as always, my favorite topic, talking about NIL and how that's impacting coaches and players. And
honestly, if I thought that there was a market for it, just doing a podcast where we just talk about NIL would have been on the table.
Hey, well, with the recent Ohio ruling, it would have been really easy this week.
Yes,
so,
it would have.
And
high schoolers, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, which will be, I think that's got 30 days or something like that. So once all of that kind of gets figured out, I think it might be time where we follow up with another lawyer, get a little bit of insight.
We probably get Mackie back on.
We probably get him. I got my other guy as well. So we will definitely get some experts to weigh in on that. But until then, be sure to subscribe to the FOX19 NOW Sports podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and more. With that simple subscription, you get for free, might I add. You get us on Thursdays. You get the Gold Standard with Joe Danneman and Charlie Goldsmith on Fridays. And you get Offsides with Gabby Sorrentino on Mondays. And there's plenty of great video content with the sports team as well coming out on the FOX19 NOW website, and you can find the videos on the FOX19 YouTube page as well. So many places that you can go to find great content.
All of the places also, being at Bengals Now, we do need to plug it.
Yep.
If you are not able to be part of the live crowd, you can go, or you can watch it 11:30 Thursday night, 2 p.m. Friday night, and on our website, fox19.com. So So much content. You never have to have a moment of silence. I promise.
And come down and hang out.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Meet the players. It's
Yeah.
a great time.
Absolutely.
Most Wednesdays.
Yes.
Unless it changes.
An occasional Monday. Some real
Thursday games.
Yeah, I know. It scrambled everything up. It put us on a holiday.
It did.
It was a real weird affair.
How dare they?
Send us home.
But that's all that we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.